The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger is one of the most famous and most controversial novels ever written. It's a book that millions of readers connected with, but it's also a story that has been banned, censored, and even linked to real-life crimes. Its history is almost as dramatic as the story inside it. The controversies surrounding the novel include profanity and vulgar language, sexual content, rebellion and anti-authority attitudes, mental health and depression, associations with violence, and frequent bans and challenges. Let's dive deeper. When it was first published in 1951, the reaction was immediate. Some critics praised its raw honesty and unique voice, but many parents, teachers, and school boards were outraged. They were shocked by Holden Caulfield's swearing, his frank talk about sex, and his constant rebellion against the adult world. To them, this wasn't literature, it was dangerous. By 1954, schools in Los Angeles were already pulling the book off shelves, calling it obscene and unsuitable for young people. The controversy only grew during the 1960s. In 1960, a high school teacher in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was actually fired for assigning The Catcher in the Rye to his students. He had hoped it would spark discussion, but the school board saw it as corrupting and immoral. And they weren't alone. All across the country, schools and libraries began banning the book, arguing that it encouraged teenagers to reject authority and traditional values. By the 1970s, The Catcher in the Rye had become one of the most banned books in America. Critics complained about the constant profanity, the references to drinking and smoking, and the way Holden openly dismissed the world around him as phony. Yet at the same time, the book was becoming more and more beloved by young readers who saw themselves in Holden's loneliness, confusion, and search for authenticity. It was a story that spoke to the teenage experience in a way few books ever had. Then came the 1980s, and the book's reputation took a darker turn. In 1980, John Lennon's murder stunned the world. His killer, Mark David Chapman, was found carrying a copy of The Catcher in the Rye, and he later claimed he felt a personal connection with Holden Caulfield. Just a year later, in 1981, the book was officially the most censored novel in U.S. schools. That same year, John Hinckley Jr. attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan, and once again, The Catcher in the Rye was mentioned in connection with the crime. Suddenly, the book wasn't just controversial, it was infamous. Even into the 1990s, it remained a lightning rod for debate. The American Library Association consistently listed it among the most challenged books of the decade, with parents continuing to argue that it was corrupting young readers. The conversation didn't end with the new millennium either. In 2001, schools in Montana attempted to remove it from classrooms. And in 2009, a new controversy erupted when an author tried to publish an unauthorized sequel called 60 Years Later, Coming Through the Rye. J.D. Salinger's estate sued and successfully blocked the book, proving that decades after its release, The Catcher in the Rye could still stir up heated arguments. Today, the novel holds a unique place in American culture. It's taught in high schools and colleges around the world, often praised as a classic exploration of teenage alienation, grief, and the struggle to find meaning. But it hasn't lost its edge. It's still challenged for profanity, sexual references, and its critical view of society. What once shocked America is now seen as one of the most honest portrayals of adolescence ever written. So, is The Catcher in the Rye dangerous or just misunderstood? Maybe both. But one thing is certain, it's not just a novel. It's a cultural lightning rod that refuses to fade away. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit subscribe for more deep dives into the most controversial books in history, and let me know in the comments. Do you think The Catcher in the Rye is overrated, or is it still as powerful today as it was in 1951? Thank you for watching.